Okay, that seems more like it. Welcome to the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. I'm your host, Ale Wolf, otherwise known as Ales, the excellence of an execution, gentleman streamer, Mama Ales, baby boy. And welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to Ales and Fails. Happy to have you here. Happy to have you join us tonight. The itinerary for tonight's journey is we'll be delving back into the world of Hyrule in the original The Legend of Zelda for the Nintendo, the 8-bit NES. So yeah, sit back and relax. It'll be one of these so-called cozy streams. I've still yet to understand what exactly a cozy stream entails, but I feel like this qualifies. And welcome, friend of the stream, and I go. How are you doing this evening? Good to have you with us. Missed me last week. Well, I suppose I couldn't fulfill my final stand last week, but you know what? That's in the past. This is a new week. Hopefully things are better, and hopefully you've had a good week. In terms of myself, though, nothing really too much to report. Really, a couple of hiccups. Like I did suggest, I did miss my last Friday stream. Unfortunately, the ale den needed some house repairs. Yeah, let's put it at house repairs. And yeah, you know how those can go. But Sunday was Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to everyone out there and everyone's dads. Happy Father's Day to you. What is it? June is the month of dads and grads. Somebody said that once. Let's keep it that way. Dads and grads, as they say. So yes, we'll be jumping back into the world of Hyrule. And I believe last I left off, I was at level 7 out of 9 for the first quest of the Legend of Zelda. But of course, before we do that, and as we like to start off the evenings, it is time to talk about what is on tap tonight and what exactly is on tap here tonight, folks. This one is called Dystopian Paradise, and it is a helping from our friends at Blue Oak Brewing in San Carlos. Now, Dystopian Paradise is a sour ale, and it's actually a sour ale brewed with mango, lime, and tangerine, which is a lot of citrus fruits. This is definitely a cozy stream. Well, I'm glad you think so. I think it's a good moniker. I think most of my favorite streams are cozy. What exactly is a sour ale, though? Whenever people think about beer, they don't think about sourness or anything like that. It's they think about either hoppiness, which is bitter, which is, unfortunately what most people jump to. But then there's also the sugary aspect of it, which comes from the malts. So where exactly does the sour taste come from in sour ales, which are, I feel like, a small fraction of beers out there and not everyone's cup of tea? Well, sour compounds are bestowed on beers by the yeast that actually makes the beer. Sour ales originate mostly from Belgium, and they have traditional sours over there in which they would simply leave out the gourds of beer in the wild, where natural yeast would simply seed the broth, and you would have these compounds that would elicit a sour flavor. And I believe most of these yeasts are of the genus Brettanomyces. Now, of course, with modern times, a little more efficient methods of doing sour ales have emerged, and one of the more favored one in the States is the sour, kettle souring process, which is a little bit different. It doesn't actually use the yeast necessarily. What it actually employs is bacteria known as lactobacillus. Now, these are the bacteria that make your milk go sour and are also involved in yogurt. And so it's a little bit faster. It doesn't have to happen in the wild. It's not that slow. And it's generally done in steel containers. And you get a very similar taste, though. I do feel like I enjoy traditional sours just a bit more. I feel like they're a little more balanced, and I feel like the concoction of flavors and spices in Belgian beers generally tends to be a little more palatable for me, at least. But you know, not everyone is the same. Let's see. Speaking about fathers, I was telling my dad about a couple things that came to my attention talking about streamers. I got some perspectives to share. Well, I certainly hope that they're positive perspectives to share, but that certainly sounds like an interesting conversation. Before we move on and taste our beer here, let's go ahead and see what Untapped has to say on the matter. So again, let me go ahead and switch to my here. So Dystopian Paradise by Blue Oak Brewing is a sour. It's a fruited sour, which means that you add fruits into the beverage in order to actually bestow upon it certain fruity flavors. And the description is nothing more than mango, lime, and tangerine, which must mean the adjuncts to this particular beer, adjuncts being things that you add after the fact. Not too much more of a description here, but it is certainly very well rated. I've had this before on my other Untapped account, and it is certainly something that I enjoy. So let's go back to Intermission and let's go ahead and actually taste this. I feel like I've been talking way too much about this beer as opposed to just drinking it. Imagine that, talking about beer instead of drinking it. Am I mad? Has the world gone mad? No. Maybe a little bit. And we have our trusty Stein from Dinkelocker. Now, this particular sour ale already has a translucent coloring to it, even though it is more yellower, more golden. Not necessarily the best pour. I do have a bit of an excess in terms of foam over there. Very gentle aroma. I definitely sense some tangerine there, some good orange there. Some mango, more of a mango flesh as opposed to a mango peel, which is nice. I do love my mangoes. Bang and ale here. So it is a gentle sour. It is nothing overpowering. You definitely feel the body of the mango in this one. Like I said, more of a fleshy taste rather than anything else. In terms of body composition, I would give it a solid 3 out of 5. It has a robust body, but it is not something too strong like a stout or like a heavier stout. In fact, I might even say something more like a 3.5 rather than a 4 even. I can't taste the lime too well, but I've had this thing ever since I was a kid where I find it difficult to tell the difference between general citric flavor and lime and lemon flavor. It's a limitation of mine. And then I feel like the tangerine actually comes from the sweetness of the drink. I like my tangerine oranges, but mostly because they're sweet rather than them being citric. There's no bitterness to this, and I feel like maybe they obviated naming the hops here because maybe they're not very prevalent here. This is a delicious beer. I think it is a kettle sour, and Blue Oak does incredibly well because I generally don't care too much for kettle sours. So Dystopian Paradise, highly recommend. Let me go ahead and update my ticker here just in case anybody pops in on stream and wonders, hey, what is this foolish man drinking over here, and why am I watching this show? So there we go. That should have updated that. In terms of a rating, I think we're going to give it a solid 2.5 being the average. I wanna give it a 4, but I feel like that might be a little too reactionary. Solid 3.5 is actually quite good. And I have unlocked a promotion, which I do not need. But look at that, I'm a weekday warrior. Which I don't plan calling out tomorrow because I'm not going in tomorrow. But that's enough of my life story. Let's go back to the game. here we go. Okay. And yeah, it seems like everything is reading where it should be reading. Now I believe I am working from suspend points here. 6.8, 6.15. This should be the latest one. And I think I was working on level 7 if I am not mistaken, but I haven't completed it. I might have simply gone out to get a fairy. Try to go after a fairy. Oh yeah, I did forget to suggest, but I did post a question of the night, and it is simply because there was a Nintendo Direct yesterday. Actually it was this morning. I didn't actually catch it, but I did read the recap as to what was announced, and I am very excited about the advent of Super Mario RPG. That was a game that I played as a child, and I I don't want to say 100% completed, but I certainly completed it. I think the one thing that I was missing for those hardcore Super Mario RPG players is the fact that I was missing the Super Jacket, which is something that you can only get if you do 100 consecutive jumps using Mario's ability, which is just insane. I never had that level of coordination. I know that I also missed a lot of frog coins, and frog coins were the currency to get in order to get the more important items in that game. And I only have the blue potion. I guess it'll have to do. Did we actually finish it? I'm actually surprised that the whole map is complete as far as I can tell. How could I not even remember that? Yeah. Do I even have the compass? Yeah, I do have the compass, so I feel like if I didn't finish it, that this would be glowing red. What about my pieces of the Triforce? Let me step out. Actually, I'm missing a single one. So guess what? I actually finished level 7. Imagine that. I must have accomplished it in a drunken stupor. Alright, let's see here. In I go. So I was watching the streamer I usually watch and talk to off stream, and she averages like 8 views. Smart and cool enough that she was part of this raid train, and then it was her turn to conduct this train, and she got 60 views. Then after 2 hours, she had to give that up to another streamer, and she was weird. So here's something funny. Even though I've been on this space, well, let me say I've only been here a scant. I think in November it'll be 2 years that I've been streaming. I know that raid trains, so what do we call these? Raid trains happen. I don't actually know what they are. Maybe I should find that out. Maybe I should just Google that at some point. Let's see. She had 2 views. Sorry. She had 2 views and then turned into 60 and then did her little speech. But she was waiting for the train to arrive, and I thought to myself, the suspense is killing me. I guess at this point, since we're simply going to go to level 8, I'm going to simply collect enough money to get the red potion and then go from there. It's not like we're in a rush. I think it's 60, I want to say. Okay, you know what, that's pretty boring. Let's just go ahead and find level 8. And we're only 1 heart piece away from a complete set of hearts, and that was foolish. Of course, we're using our trusty Switch Pro controller, which I have griped about before. Doesn't have the greatest control pad. So every once in a while I feel like my ups don't register. And I think one nice thing about level 8 is I think I will get the red candle. I'm not so sure. I guess we'll find out. I think it's also funny that merchants simply sell keys for dungeons, almost as if every dungeon actually has the same key combination. Therefore, any keys applies. Like every single locksmith in Hyrule that worked on a dungeon decided to use the same key combination. And if I am not mistaken, the 8th dungeon is in a bush that we have to burn down. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that Super Mario RPG. I honestly thought that one I would probably put it as a game that I would revisit as part of my stream, but now that it is being remade, maybe I will just hold off until it is released then. And lots of people have fond memories of Super Mario RPG. I feel like there's this big fan base for the character Geno, which hasn't come back since that game, simply because the Super Mario RPG series actually hasn't come back. Some people publicly humiliate themselves. If you think about it, I felt bad how a number on their screen matters that much that they have to fake it that way, as opposed to winning a viewer genuinely like you have with me. Well, that's quite a touching thought. I'd rather have 5 genuine viewers that really back me up than do that, because man, that hurt my soul. I mean, people aren't perfect and mess up, but dang. You know, I feel like I'm a little bit ambivalent about this. I feel like there are times when people do have certain dreams and goals that they pursue, right? And they are pursuing said dreams or goals because they are trying to be that good to themselves. Unfortunately, in the climb to trying to achieve these dreams, part of that simply involves presenting a version of themselves that is not real to who they actually are. And not that it is something that I can relate to, simply because I guess that's not necessarily one of my goals. Trust me, I would love to have like a giant viewership and interact with a bunch of people. But at least at this point in my life, or at least it is the person that I am, that I probably won't do a lot of I don't think I need to take on challenges or anything like that. I feel like, you know what, it's okay. There's folks that will do that, and more power to them. Some of them will humiliate themselves, like you say. But what is it really worth to them? Is it just the popularity, or is it because of whatever it is they're trying to achieve? And if what they are trying to achieve is being the most popular person, because that is what they really want, there's just a little bit of a, let's say there's a little bit of an iota of like, you know what, that's a solid dream, and do your thing, and I'm going to be on my corner over here. But yeah, I certainly appreciate the thoughts, Inigo. Trust me, I tell this to all of my good acquaintances. One day I will let you down. So just you wait for that. But no, let's not talk about serious stuff like that. Ailes, why would you talk about that? Alright, so I know that tree is somewhere around here in this sea of trees. Maybe it's down here. You know, at the very least, I hope that the person that you were watching has some solid content otherwise, right? if they're not really doing what they really want to be doing, hopefully they're putting something out there that is worthwhile seeing. Let's see. I mean, you warned me, right? Yeah, I guess I did. I guess I did. Okay, I'm going in circles. The legend of getting lost in the woods. Speaking of just streaming in general, I keep reading these articles about all these big streamers just leaving Twitch to go to Kick, which is another streaming platform, which has its own troubles, and they do it because Twitch keeps coming out with rules that do not favor them. Specifically, the idea that they won't give them a fair amount of the money that they make. I think everyone's looking for that 70-30. And then there's the what is it? There's new regulations as to being a Twitch partner. I was almost said Twitter there. That wouldn't make sense. But yeah, and I see their point, and I definitely do not disagree with them. But it is kind of the sort of thing where I'm just like, I wish I had those problems. However, definitely support them. I'm simply being a bit coy here. Let's see. So let me find the map for level 8. You might be thinking that I'm doing this whole thing out of skill, but no, actually I'm using a map to more or less get my... Not that having a map in The Legend of Zelda is really going to do that much for you, but it is handy to just kind of streamline things. Let's see. I'm gonna ask you this question. I asked this one streamer who enjoys my company for my witty comments in her stream. She averages 50 views, and man, I must say I was surprised by her answer, even though she seems to be one of the good ones. Yeah, feel free to ask. Yeah, I think I'll ask most things, or I simply won't answer. All right. Clearly, I don't have enough liquid courage here. That kind of just reminds me of real life in general. There's a lot of times when people have suggested to me in the past that I was a nice fellow, a nice guy, as you will. But you can't be a nice guy if you have the types of thoughts that I have. And I'll leave that there. Let's go here. Oh, it's one of these rooms with the water. If only I could angle my weapon. You know what, let's light this up. Light him up, oh. Okay, that's a little bit better. Let's see. I commented on her stream saying, gosh dang, someone in your stream gifted 1245 subs and had a rainbow gift box showing off his kindness. And she said, yeah, people are nice to the stream, etc. And then I asked, won't be word by word, but I'm gonna try to remember. Sure, let's just assume that you are paraphrasing whatever it is she said. I'm sure the context will be there. And I specifically remember playing this dungeon, the Lion, and I specifically remember it because of this silvery tone that the entire place has. I think it reminded me of the fact that there's a lot of dark nuts in this level, and they are very, very obnoxious. And we have a manhandler, our friend the manhandler. Oh, great. The first few times I did this, I cut the whole thing. And now I'm just goofing it up. You know what, let's just take care of things. Voila. And a secret passage. And so here begins my toils. What we have here are dark nuts, which are actually quite powerful if you... Whenever you try to hit them from the front, they won't actually incur any damage. And of course, as it is with the Legend of Zelda enemies, even if you do hit them, they will stay in place. There's no knockback in the Legend of Zelda, which I find is one of the most frustrating aspects of the game. It's not very easy to navigate through a room of enemies when, even though you're attacking as hard as you can, they kind of just stay in place and continue on their merry routes. Alright, let's see. Let's try this thing though. And of course it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything! Let me see, what other weapon is good against anything in there? Maybe the red candle? Let's see, does this do anything for us? Well, at the very least it burns everyone. Oh, and myself, of course. It doesn't work on the dark nuts. Gosh dang it. I might as well just simply keep the wand equipped for the Gyptos. And I was going to say that it would be useful, however, having the dark nuts here. Whoa, hey. They actually shield every other enemy. So that's annoying. There's absolutely no battle that I can enter without. And of course, what happens here with the bubbles is they constantly hit me, which takes away the power, my ability to use the sword. Okay, and then one last one. Beautiful. Let's go in here. And there's the Book of Mudora. And the nice thing about this particular gift is that it causes the wand to burst into flames once it fires. It does this sort of thing. Alright, let's see. I asked. I like making myself known with my witty comments, as you know, and being a part of the community, but whatever. I see someone donate something big, the streamer should give that person at the time praise and appreciation, but I disappear and leave because I can't compete with that. Is that a valid thought and reaction? Because I think the donations sometimes take away from the authenticity of the stream and chat, in my opinion. I think I see what you're trying to say, and you know, while let me be as hyper realistic as possible. Of course, people, you know, enjoy funding because it allows them to do other things, because it allows them to continue whatever hobbies or whatever goals they might have, and of course that's something in the back of everyone's mind. But if I feel like if you're contributing to the community in a different way, in which you're putting yourself in there and you're you know, making relationships, making friendships, being a character, being a I don't know. The next thought was like a beloved figure, but that seems a little bit silly. Some people can be beloved figures. I was simply trying not to make it too cheesy, but I do think that is a little bit more of a more substantial contribution, because, you know, as much as I hate to say it, money comes and goes, right? You know, nobody intends on streaming forever. At least I don't know that anybody intends to. I'm sure that maybe there's some people that do, but I can't imagine that it is sustainable forever. However, everyone out there, please prove me wrong. However, when you're making connections with people, I do feel like just the way in which you interact with people shapes them and helps them grow. I think that every single day, every time you make meaningful interactions with people, you grow and you develop yourself. And so, not to be like a complete cheeseball here, but I do think that it is something more of a substantial transaction, for a lack of a better term, especially if it comes, from within, especially if it comes from the heart. Like I said, that's kind of just my thoughts on the matter. I'm sure that I don't know that it is a black and white question. Like you shouldn't. I don't think that anybody can say, you know what, this is always better than this. Like being a community member is always more important than donating money. But I think it does at least raise the question. If we're talking about two individuals, all things being equal, they donate a little bit money, the other person is interacting with viewers, interacting with the streamer. I'm going to say that there is an argument to be made that the person who is more active in the community is at the very least, I don't want to say a little more valuable, but certainly adds a little bit more to the equation. But don't take my word for it. I'm just an idiot spouting things on the internet. This guy just speaking facts. Not just speaking facts, but also just stumbling after every other word. But thank you for the idea. Again, I'm sure that that's not necessarily all that you were. I'm sure that that's not the entirety of your question, and I'm sure I missed a few points there, but that's kind of how I feel about it, if I read the scenario that you presented accurately. But yeah, in a very real sense, I wouldn't blame somebody for not understanding that, right? I don't know that every single person out there thinks about these things, and I don't think that every single person out there has the time or even the energy to put time into these thoughts. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to have these expectations of people. So do your best, be charitable, but I think there's some things that just seem a certain way. Okay, so this is a room full of dark nuts, and I can't say that these guys are my favorite. Let's go ahead and bomb them. Lamp oil, rope, bombs. Hey, look at that, I didn't get a single one. This is ridiculous. There's so many of them that it is indeed just slowing down the room. Nice. Okay, so not a total loss. Wow, this guy. Once again, it is the sort of thing where these guys just move so quickly, and there's no way to stop them. How does this even happen? Okay, beautiful. So if we go right, we'll find a bunch of Paul's voice with a compass. She said my reaction to leave is valid, so I did just that. Because I understand back of the head people want money. So I'm not going to block their shine and the other person donation either. I just exit. Well, that is a classy thing to do. I'm glad that you felt like you said your piece, and they can do whatever it is they want with that information. So I think you took the high road, as they say. So I'm not gonna block their yeah. So like I said, I'm not gonna judge. I don't know what situation they're in. Maybe having that money is very important to them. Maybe that's their sole income. There's also things like that, you know. But yeah, that's a complex That's a complex one, in I go. Alright, will this destroy them? No, of course not, even though they have big ears. I wonder if the magic wand will actually do anything to them. No, of course not. Woe is me. Now onto what happened at the dentist today. Well, let's hope that it wasn't too painful. That's funny, actually. I went to the dentist, I want to say 2 weeks ago, and it was for routine cleaning, which is good. I don't have too many major problems with my teeth just yet. But one of the ongoing problems that I always have is just the fact that my teeth stain easily, and it is by design. I actually drink a lot of coffee. I often like to say that my two best states of mind are being caffeinated and being intoxicated. So I drink a lot of coffee, and so my teeth stain easily. Also, red wine doesn't happen to help. But yeah, every single time I go there, it's always painful because they just have to polish/drill all of the stains off my teeth. It's not happy. It's not happy ales. Okay, beautiful. Let's continue on to our left over here. And I believe this is another ruins with Paul's voice. Of course, the other problem with using arrows is just the fact that arrows actually take up coins. Or I keep saying coins, but they're actually rupees. And yeah, this is a nice effect that the Book of Medora has added, in the sense that it actually just will keep burning. It's like a few extra hits whenever you land a blow. See, I got there 10 minutes before my 2 p.m. Front desk said, "Be back from lunch at 2:11. There was only a lady waiting and overheard me said, "I'ma wait my car," and then she said, "Why not wait here already? Nice aircon." And also I felt like that was an invitation. That's an invitation to what? Let's see. Okay, so there should be a key here, I think. I'll keep the bombs handy just in case I need them, but hopefully I don't. These are the red ones after all, so not too challenging. Beautiful. 4 keys in her pockets. Nice. Okay, so let's go up. Okay, and this is a Goma. Come on, does my shield do nothing? And so Goma, of course, you have to hit it in the eye with an arrow. Of course. Jeez. Wow, you seriously have to hit that eyeball dead center. I must be going insane here. At this point, I think I might as well just spam arrows. Okay. Alright, it's potion time. Nice. And of course, immediately my sword beams get taken away. Again, my up is just so screwed up. Okay. So I sat down a couple of chairs away, and her body language immediately was into me, and the conversation was in Spanish, and we talked. I'm not as well versed, but I'm not bad at Spanish either. And she was telling me all kinds of details, and she asked how old I was, telling me your daughter, the same age, pays a lot for her dentist appointments, and she was able to come out on top. No believer in her after going single, and she lives in my favorite neighborhood as well. I wasn't paying too much attention, just thinking about, what. She didn't have a body like how I want, but a cute face she did in her 40s, 50s, I would assume. So a chance encounter, and it certainly made you consider possibilities. That's funny. It's at the very least interesting to find a person that will talk to you out of the blue in something like the waiting room for a dentist. I'm assuming that was the end of it. Let's see. So if we go right, keys, there's a room with Gyptos and Dark Nuts. I keep forgetting that the boomerang actually stops people if they're not wearing ridiculous armor or are whiz robes. Oh, come on. Every single room that has Dark Nuts has to have bubbles. It's so... I don't know that there's been a room of just Dark Nuts without a bubble. Okay, nice. We do need our rupees in order to keep ahead of the consumption of the arrows. Now there's more and what I learned from it. So here's the kicker. Sure. Let's go up here. Ah, man, what is this? Why is life terrible that way? Okay, one down. Seriously. And of course, while I'm trying, it's again the sort of thing where, yes, this is just a room of Dark Nuts, but at the same time, there's just random gargoyles firing at me because the amount of Dark Nuts themselves is not challenge enough. You rascal. Alright, as soon as I hear the beep, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Boom. Should have had health insurance. Back to the beginning of the dungeon, and I think I'm probably going to go out and get some medicine. Let's see, and I was trying to tell her, but she would interrupt, not trying to stop me intentionally from saying it. Just thinking to myself, I'm gonna let it be and let her speak. And then I got called up and left her, and then saw her again by the end. We both finished the same time, and she asked me how it went and how I feel. My mouth was numb from one side of the deep teeth cleaning and bloody gums, so I couldn't really talk well. That's unfortunate. Trying to have a good conversation with somebody and your jaw muscles aren't really having it. Yeah, so let's get out of here. Let's get some coins. Probably should stock up on bombs as well. And I think that if I play the whistle, at some point it will get me close enough to a fairy fountain, which is probably what I need to do here. And again, the warp whistle not only being in The Legend of Zelda, but also in Super Mario Bros. 3. Okay. Not. Oh, where's my trusty wand? And the fairy fountain should be up here. I keep forgetting that the fire itself actually damages me as well. That's always been so silly. Okay. So I said I was fine, and then walked out waiting for her to come out to make my move. But the circumstances changed. My dad was in front waiting for me. He never showed me anything in front of me, so I wouldn't either with a woman his age and flirting with her. He would have questions and concerns. But what I learned, and you tell me, yeah, that's one of those instances where obviously I have no such examples like that, but it's one of those instances where when two of your different worlds collide, it's actually very, very difficult to act. And of course the ways that I am trying to imply is like the few times that different groups of friends get together, something like that, or like my parents or my family has come in contact with me hanging out with my friends. That's always just very difficult, but certainly nothing like what you're describing, of course. Okay, so I think we need 7 more coins. You know, I really need to find a way to make money quickly in Zelda, and I know that there's a way to do that through gambling, using the all-power. Maybe I should look that up before the next installment of this run, just because I feel like, for as much as I like to grind and simply digest my thoughts, sometimes it's not very productive. Ah, it's 68. Darn you, medicine woman. Let's see. But when the opportunity is there, be quick and strike. Don't take too long because circumstances change, and enjoy the moment. No need to rush, but know when to get in and out. And also maybe just enjoy the conversation or thing for what it is. Don't always need to be something extra. Here's my usual disclaimer, and I go, a lot of the situations that you describe are not things that I can certainly speak from as experience or anything like that. I think that there is something to be said about seizing the moment and seizing an opportunity. But what I don't think is that, what I don't believe that means is that to rush in as fast as you can simply because you see an opportunity escape you. What is the old saying? Fools rush in where angels dare not tread. I don't know that there is a situation where you know that you are running out of time and you need to force a particular interaction with somebody, whatever that interaction might be, right? It seems like it is almost like setting yourself up for failure, because by trying to act quickly, by not being natural, you're going to be a lesser version of yourself. I hate to say it, but I would probably be a little more. I would always probably try to carry myself as relaxed as possible and simply be myself. And yeah, for lack of a better term, just enjoy the conversation for what it is. And if the opportunity emerges for it to be something more, then maybe act once that opportunity emerges. But people are not necessarily just and I know you don't think this, I think we've talked enough, I know you don't think this, but people are not just opportunities, right? People are fully fleshed, complex creatures, very nuanced, lots of shades there. And you know what, if they're not available for one particular aspect of interaction, then they might otherwise be incredibly interesting individuals. And maybe not, and maybe that's not the case all the time, but maybe sometimes they are. I love the disclaimers. Yeah, I can't really exist without those. Lots of people tell me that when I talk, I just keep adding, now think about this, now consider this, or please understand that I don't know what I'm saying, or just all these other conditionals to in a way protect myself from what I'm about to say. And so it just comes out as incredibly convoluted sentences and statements. But you know what, if I don't have them, I kind of feel like I'm not being true to the words I say. So that's my quirk. But yeah, I'm glad that some of that at least resonated with you. I don't think that the day was a loss. I think that at the very least, you had an interesting connection, you have an interesting story there, and I'm not about to say that you will someday meet this person again. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. There's a fair chance that you won't. But at least you established a connection. And that's always generally better than not having done so. Okay, so now we have enough to buy that medicine. Hey, beautiful. That is deep. No, that's just life. Alright, let's go back to level 8. Give it another go. And for those of you still watching, bots included, we are still enjoying our sour ale, Dystopian Paradise. That is delicious. Oh yeah, okay. Reminds me of like some secret occurrences in a Pokemon game that happens later on. Now that is a cryptic hint right there. I am curious as to what you're saying, but if you don't feel on expanding that, that's okay too. I didn't actually know that you were a Pokemon player. I was one. Oh, nice. And it also just breaks my heart that there's no meat between these two icons. I think at this point what we're going to try to start doing is using suspend points before we enter these rooms full of dark nuts, because I feel like if I go in just as I did before, I am simply gonna meet the same fate. Meet a terrible fate. Haven't I? Ah, great, and I missed the blue rupee. That was pointless. Nice, and I'm up to 16 bombs, which is good. Which is the maximum amount of bombs that I can have. Funny how the sword beams can actually go through the trees. What is this place? And there goes the persistence of that burninating effect. Ah, just a regular sword. Nothing to see here. Also, now that we have our handy dandy red flame, we can actually burn multiple things without having to worry about the cost. Let's see, like Cynthia from Pokemon Diamond, who you meet casually and befriends you just to find out she's the champion of the region. Ah, okay, that's Generation 4. But yeah, I told myself if it's meant to be, I will see them again. Wouldn't be far-fetched. I love the neighborhood she lives in. Yeah, that is certainly the right attitude to have, you know? There's always a chance. I have certainly encountered the same person more than once that I never assumed I would, if at all by chance. But like I said, definitely not a loss. Okay, let's go ahead and create a suspend state right here. So I believe we made it all the way to the mouth of the lion, for lack of a better term here. It's a good thing that some of the enemies won't come back, of course, but some of them will. Let's see if we go down that way. That is just the mane of the lion. And we do already have the compass there. So I think we actually do need to deal with all of these creatures. Ah, level 8, of course. Why do it? Okay. This is actually not the most useful thing in the world. And of course, here I am trying to cheat the system by using my sword from all the way over here. But of course, that's never actually going to work. Oof. Ah, and of course it is just my fate to lose. My sword beams as soon as I get them. Okay, so now we either go top, and I believe we did go all the way to the left, so no need to go over there. We're going to go to the top and then see what we can do up there. Let's see. Also, would you recommend going in the next day for the other side for the deep teeth cleaning? I'm hoping when I wake up tomorrow for breakfast, left side of my mouth still isn't giving me a hard time. Because if I go, I might be able to eat it and all. And that's a problem, having my whole mouth feeling useless. Might not, of course. Well, that's another profession that old ales doesn't have. Dentistry. I would ask first how you feel right now, and if you think that you'll be good by tomorrow, sure, might save yourself some time. If you're not already feeling at least 80%, 90%, then I probably wouldn't recommend it, because that sounds like you're setting yourself up for a bad time. Also, it's quite nice that it seems to me like your dentist seems pretty flexible. I know my dentist actually requires quite hefty notice for me to show up. Alright. Oh, come on. Blasted bubbles. Also, what is the point of me fighting these guys? Coins? Yeah, it is rupees, isn't it? But I feel like I have to do it. And honestly, they just push me against these enemies. It's like as soon as I turn to face them, they face me. Okay. So now we can actually move forward. Clearly we didn't need to do this, but... And I don't believe we went up here. Spectacle Rock is an entrance to death. And I believe the old man here is talking about the final dungeon, which is Death Mountain. And Spectacle Rock is suggestive of the structure, the rocky structure that actually leads to that opening. Now, can you imagine being in the 1980s, reading that and assuming, oh yeah, that old man is talking about the final dungeon of the game and how I must look for a bespectacled rock formation in order to find the final dungeon. It's almost like reading Nostradamus. That old chestnut. Alright, let's keep on going up. And this is a room where we sort of kind of met our fate. Let me go ahead and create a suspend point right here. And actually equip some bombs because I know that we'll be facing a lot of dark nuts. Feeling like Bomberman over here. Wow. Okay, enough bombs. Maybe. And really, there's very little strategy here other than trying to get behind them. The most chivalrous of actions. Whoa. Ah, great. Manhandler. Okay. So that opens that door, but what is over there? Okay, so I think there's a major treasure in here. And of course it's blocked by all these guys. Oh nice, more bombs. And of course I ran out of bombs just as I was doing that. Ah, I can't use my sword because of these bubbles. Let me go ahead and use my potion. Let's see here. One for sure, I don't want to make things awkward. What I like is my physical therapist. She always seems in a good mood when I show up into her place. I kind of asked her out and told her if she's ever in LA, I got her with tickets to any event. She said thank you, and I gave her flowers and a note showing appreciation for Valentine's Day. Never has mentioned a boyfriend. Okay. I also feel like she wants to keep things professional, but wouldn't mind a little something. I got mixed messages, signals. I saw myself not to make things awkward when she passes me up because she's great at what she does. Wouldn't want to ruin that. I think that's a very mature perspective. I don't want to make assumptions here, but it is not without merit to consider that she hasn't received advances from other individuals in the past, and maybe just her neutral response to that is, thank you, but sort of this is not going to go in that direction. Welcome back to the stream, Connor Coates. How are you doing this evening? Good to have you back. Yeah, I know. I stream incredibly late time, so most of the people, at least in my region, are already asleep, and I imagine that is probably the case in your corner of the world. But thank you for dropping by. I certainly appreciate. How have you been doing? But yeah, going back to the question at hand, in I go. Maybe she simply wants to keep things professional, and that's respectable. Like you suggest, if she's doing things for you that you find very beneficial, maybe it's better not to risk that connection. Ooh, that's a lot of money, or a lot of money in Zelda terms. Look at that, that's beautiful. Let's get the boomerang in here. Okay, so we're back to 100%, more or less. Where are we in the map here? Huh, actually we're very close to the final boss here. Maybe we'll go ahead and tackle the boss, since we seem to be in a good state and we're already here. And of course you can simply drop a bomb right there, and that should lead us directly to the boss. Let me see the magic wand that actually does well against the dungeon master, not dungeon master, the boss of the level here. That's a high quality H2O. I know there's a stereotype of girls falling for their chiropractors because they know how to touch. I feel that, especially if they're beautiful like she is. Yeah, of course. You know, I think I remember something that I thought held some merit by somebody before, but it was just the idea that it is very difficult for men specifically to have physical interactions with somebody else without going into the realm of considering this more than a physical transaction. And I feel like that's at least somewhat true. It is very difficult to separate those sensations, if that makes any sense. Now that's not everybody, of course. I'm not making assumptions out of every single fellow out there or anything like that, but I certainly see their point. 10th enemy has the bomb, and I believe this is an allusion to the idea that if you beat 10 enemies without getting hit, you get a free bomb. I agree, it applies to me. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't apply to every single person out there, and it doesn't apply 100% of the time, but it is something that it is almost like it's hardwired to, like, almost like synergize whenever it happens. So, you know, consider that at the very least. Alright, we are going to go and face the dragon. And it does nothing. Of course it does nothing. Some fine technique in here. Okay, and the four-headed Gleeok is destroyed. I think we'll just go ahead and collect the Triforce and then step back out and go and collect the last part. Oh, sorry, the last major treasure of this dungeon. Sure, let's create a suspend point right here. I speak on that, what you just said to me in my words to her as a scapegoat, if I ever try to charm her. Oh, I see. Well, that is certainly one fallback, sure. So let's go back to where we were. A toast to those we lost along the way. It's just hardwired. It's just a real connection. Try as you might, as objectively as you might be, as rational as you might think you are, you can never escape biology. And by you, I mean me. Let's see. So we are at the neck of the lion. I think what we need to do is simply go up. But of course, our way is blocked. These guys are insane. no matter how you slice it. Okay, nice. These guys are insane. Okay. Okay, nice. Kindly refrain from using I see what you mean. You know how it is, and I go. I love to talk about these things, or let's just say that I certainly entertain talking about these things. But let's like a good fight. Let's keep it clean. Okay. So we're going to keep going north, and I think we'll meet another Gumon. Oh, come on, Bubbles. It was a compliment I was trying to give you. Well, you know what? Just your continued presence is always compliment enough. Okay. So let's see. So up there is the old man with the... Because if I wanted that to you would be at least... maybe. You say that. Alright, let's move up here. Let's skip this room of madness. Okay, so this is another manhandler. I only got one. Hey, huzzah. And I believe if we go into the eye of the lion... Let's see. Your girl tame a tiger. For as much as I would love to brag about that, I am certainly fortunate that she had decided to entertain my brand of insanity. Let's see. And so we can go one up more and then go to the right. Let her, you would be wilding out there at the bars. What an interesting eventuality. There are certainly times when I think about how things might have been had I not found my better half. And I do think about things about what sort of where exactly would I be, and what are the sorts of things that I might be doing. And certainly I don't know that I've ever assumed that I would ever be effective in my advances, but at the very least I know that I would certainly be trying, because for better or for worse, I want that companionship. And that is how that cookie crumbles. And another Goma. I say Goma, it's like a Guma. What is this? Ah, peace and solitude. And there goes the dystopian paradise. Okay, time for a refresher. You would have been doing your beer reviews to them and then reviewing something else. Sure, maybe the hottest show on Netflix. I'm sure that's what you meant. But yeah, like I said, an interesting thought exercise at the very least. I'm happy with how things are. Jeez, am I just getting... This is essentially bullet hell. What? Ah, okay. So if we go to the top, there's just going to be a bomb. So probably visit this and then not worry about it too much. But of course I have to go for it. Fortunately, the red dark nets only take a single shot. Okay, nothing more than some bombs. And so the final room here. Paul's voice and more dark nuts. Actually, let me go ahead and place some bombs and hit nobody, of course. Oh, nice. Where's my boomerang when I need it? Let me get rid of the Pulse voice first before even trying to tackle these guys. Beautiful. Okay. Okay. And now we can go in. And there it is. The final treasure of level 8, the Lion's Key. Great. And so what the Lion King actually does, I said the Lion King, I don't know why I said that. What the Lion Key does, it allows you to have unlimited keys. So you don't actually need to, collect any more keys after this. Not that I've ever ran out of keys or anything like that, but it is nice to know that I wouldn't have to depend on having them anymore. And let's get out of here. I don't even care. And let me use my trusty recorder just to find a fairy fountain. I think what we're going to do after this is we're going to get enough money to purchase the red medicine, potentially purchase that piece of meat back, and then go to Spectacle Rock, which is the location of the final dungeon, Death Mountain. We are not even close to that fairy fountain. And I hate this place. Okay, here we are. Voila. Okay, and I think we'll just hang on right there. Let me see. So, we'll be right back, Ale Pack. See you in about 5 minutes or so. and welcome back to the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. I'm your host, Alewolf, otherwise known as Ales, Gentleman Streamer, Beer Goggles 21, the No Throne Cicerone. And welcome back to the Retro Rathskeller, where we play retro games. Generally happens on Wednesday nights. And tonight we happen to be playing The Legend of Zelda. We're almost done with the first quest. All we need to finish is Spectacle Rock, which is Death Mountain, the final dungeon of this game, before we move on to the second quest. I think we've been having some success. We just finished level 8. It wasn't too challenging except for all those rooms with those blasted Dark Nuts. We hate Dark Nuts here at the Ales and Fails Twitch stream, but you know what? They might have differing opinions, but we disagree with them, yet we would die for them to have their opinion. Somebody once said that. And so as it is usual, it is past halfway of the stream, so we're going to actually try something new. And so what we have here is something from our friends at East Brother Beer Company. I always like to say that it's our friends. I don't actually know these brewers, but I hope that they're friendly. You know, never meet your heroes, as they say. This is their oatmeal stout. I don't think it has a particular name other than oatmeal stout. And apparently East Brother is from Richmond, California. So what exactly is an oatmeal stout? Well, let's break it down. A stout is an ale, so which means it's a top fermented beer. But it generally brews dark, and the reason for that is because a lot of the time you use particular malts that brew dark. Things like crystal malts, chocolate malts, other malts which escape my mind at this point. But what you generally get is something creamier, darker in color. It's opaque, you can actually see through it. And rather than it showcasing the hops, which is the bitterness of the beer, which is what most people think about when they think about beer flavors, what generally comes through is the maltiness of the beer and the complexity. A lot of the sugars, a lot of stouts actually have the flavor of chocolates, coffee, breakfast related items, breadiness. There's good caramel richness there, maple notes, and things like spices to a certain degree. There's actually a wide variety of stouts, and a lot of them tend to be heavier in alcohol, which means that generally they're not necessarily the best openers, but I would say they're incredible finishers. So if you want a nightcap, as they say, have a stout. I really like my heavy stouts. This one is not particularly heavy. It's let's see, I thought it was like a 5 or something, 5.4. So actually quite light. What makes this particular one special is that it's an oatmeal stout. And you might be wondering, well, ales, you just said that they're made with malts, which are generally made of barley. Well, oatmeal stouts are a little bit different in the fact that there is a significant percentage of it that is actually oatmeal. And so what that actually puts on the beer is a slightly more oatmeal type flavor, as you can imagine. Some flakiness, some earthiness there. Kind of like a dry leaf flavor, I like to think about it. It reminds me of cereal, of course, and oatmeal is kind of like a cereal. But that's enough about what I think about this stuff. Let's go ahead and see what Untapped has to say on the matter. And let me go ahead and find this East Brother oatmeal stout. And it seems like they also have a barrel-aged variety. I have yet to try that. Let's see. And our friend Inigo says, have you heard about LA Knight from WWE? He's very over and loved right now for being good on the mic. He's favorited to win the Money in the Bank. His style is reminiscent of Stone Cold and The Rock combined with his own twist. He's great. You know, I actually haven't been keeping up with wrestling recently, so I don't actually know LA Knight myself. But that does sound familiar. It's funny that you asked that, because before doing the stream, I was watching a YouTube video essay from fellow Wolf, Super Eye Patch Wolf, talking about Roman Reigns. And it was like this 30-minute video about his rise to fame and all that stuff. Am I ending stream right now? First of all, welcome Rio de Lobos. Good to see you again. I am not. This is just the intermission, so we're kind of halfway there. I'll probably finish around 2 in the morning my time. And I was just about to look into what Untapped has to say on this oatmeal stout. But how have you been? It's good to see you. English inspired with notes of rich milk chocolate, dark fruit, soft, comforting finish. First placed in Flooring Extra Stout 2019 California State Fair Best Oatmeal Stout 2018 Beer Connoisseur, number 45 beer of all time best beer connoisseur. So lots of awards for this particular beer. But you know what? We shall be the judge of that. Let me go ahead and open this. So I didn't entirely miss the stream. You know what? You have not. I would say that we've got a good 50 minutes of it or so left. So I hope that I hope you stick around. It would be nifty to catch up. How have things been? And let me go ahead. It is unfortunately for the man that cuts his nails very often, sometimes to open cans. All right. And oatmeal stouts don't tend to foam up a lot, but of course that can be offset by poor pouring technique. So like I said, oatmeal stouts, much like other stouts, are quite opaque. You can't actually see through this. It's got a velvety smell to it. I think I like to describe that as like a creamy flavor, almost like if you're smelling milk cream, that's kind of what it comes as. I'm doing better. I went to the ER Tuesday, but I'm doing much better. Well, I'm so sorry to hear that you had to go to the ER. I hope it wasn't something serious, and I hope it's not something recurring, but whatever the case it might be, I'm sure that you were feeling at the very least stressed or anxious over the fact that whatever your condition might be might have taken you there. So certainly hope you're feeling better, and that this is not something that should happen again. But glad to hear that you're doing better. And you know what, to your health, Rio de Lobos. Happy to have you with us. So very rich flavor. Stouts tend to have a very consistent flavor about them, in the sense that what you see near the beginning is generally what you get towards the end. In terms of mouthfeel, it's actually quite soft on the palate. There's a certain level of friction there, which is actually quite inviting. You do sense some roast there, as if you would sense from some coffee, but it is a little bit sweet, so it's a little bit similar to a milk stout. But oatmeal stouts tend to have that character. Like I said, it is very reminiscent of breakfast, and what would oatmeal be without the idea of milk? And not really bitter. I do sense some like herbal notes at the beginning, but nothing too prominent. It kind of just sets the mood. It's a very, very drinkable beer. Thank you, Elsa. Of course. Like I said, I certainly don't know what happened, but I certainly wish you the best, Rio. And with that, let me go ahead and update my ticker over here. And voila. In terms of giving this particular beer rating, I've had it twice before and I've given it a 3.5. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 3.25 today, just because as much as I enjoy it, I feel like sometimes the sugary flavor overpowers the taste of the beer. And while it adds to the complexity of the flavor, it is not necessarily one of the flavors that I look forward to. Let's see, crazy how that submarine story is in a lot of people's minds right now. What gets me in a funny way is the thing is controlled by a video game controller. The memes coming out. Yeah, I did hear about it, you know. it was the sort of thing where obviously the idea is that you've got these people on a commercial submarine going to see the Titanic, and now they are stranded there, and I have no idea how they're feeling, or if they're I hate to say it, alive. I hope they're alive, and I hope they're found soon, but just the notion of placing myself in that situation, and like being in that confined space, like thousands of miles beneath the sea, was just kind of like, wow, that is distressing. I did also hear the fact that yes, it is controlled by a video game controller, which was kind of a not. I wouldn't assume that a submarine would be controlled by a video game controller. I don't know how they could choose that as a control system, at least the quality of it. Yeah, I hope they're alive too. Yeah, certainly hope for the best for them. But yeah, that is a wild story. I haven't heard of anything like that, and it's just funny that it's associated with the Titanic, which of course is the ship that sank. On that positive note, let's go jump back into the game. But yeah, all the best to them. I can't imagine being a family member of the people that are in there, you know? And let me put up the volume right here. Alright. Yeah, at the same time, that head guy was uber shady. You know what? I haven't heard too many positive things from the people running the show there, so the people involved, so you might have something there. No, but that's wild. And you know, I'm not the type of person that really follows like the news day to day or anything like that. All I really listen to in terms of news is like the 10-minute summary that NPR will give me. And it's kind of just interesting that something like that was actually part of that incredibly small piece of summary that I get. And that's all I gotta say. No, fair enough. I mean, at this point there's a lot of questions, and I'm not about to go and lay a judgment on anybody there, but it does kind of make you think, right? Alright, and so like I said, all I'm trying to do here is get some coins to buy that medicine, and then we can move forward. We probably don't need that the meat item. Although I wonder if it's effective against the dark nuts. I wonder if the meat is actually effective against enemies. I know that it is effective against overworld enemies, and by effective I mean that they crowd around it. But I don't know that I've ever tried it against dungeon enemies. But of course, to get something like that I need about 100 coins. Okay, and a 5. Beautiful. What temple am I on? I'm about to... So I just finished level 8. And so I'm about to go to Death Rock, or Death Mountain, which is the final dungeon. But I'm trying to get some rupees to buy some medicine and to buy the bait before I go there. Unfortunately, The Legend of Zelda is not very generous with its rupees. Have you played this game before, Rio? And maybe are you familiar with The Legend of Zelda at large? I'm sure we probably already had this conversation before, but I am terrible at keeping up with these things. Oh, nice, another 5. You're at Death Mountain in Tears of the Kingdom. Wow, that's really cool. I guess here's a spoiler question, but... So here's a spoiler question, but... is Death Mountain in Tears of the Kingdom a dungeon or a place of significance? And you don't have to give me any details, maybe just say a yes or no. Or you can just tell me what it is, I actually don't. Longtime fans of the Ales and Fails Twitch stream know that Ales has high tolerance for spoilers. Oh, look at that. Okay, so we have enough to buy the medicine. I want to get 60 coins more to buy the bait item. Yes, okay, so it is a place of significance. Good to know. I do want to play Tears of the Kingdom. Based on everything that has been said, it is an incredible game. And just the things that people are able to come up with in terms of like fusing items and finding strategies to get through puzzles is kind of crazy. But one thing that I haven't finished that I feel that I should finish is Breath of the Wild. So I'll have to do that before I even venture there. And then of course I think, should I do Breath of the Wild as part of my stream? And given how little time I have for every single game, I don't know that it would be a very productive exercise. It would have to be like a very much a type of run where I'm like, okay, I have to skip all the side quests. I didn't finish Breath of the Wild. And that's totally fine. I don't think that anybody needs to finish Breath of the Wild or anything like that. It's just that at least for me, and this is my problem. Before I try a new game, I kind of just have to beat or at least play the immediate predecessor for it. So like if I wanted to play like Majora's Mask, I definitely would want to do Ocarina of Time first. But again, that's a me problem. Everyone should play the way that they want to play. Now what is this place? I think this is closer to the ocean. Okay, I'd say don't. Just focus on Tears of the Kingdom for streaming, since that's more on the forefront, and now since that's out. Yeah, you know, that's certainly something that I've given some thought to, the idea of like playing what's hot right now, and I feel that would absolutely get me some more views. And of course, Tears of the Kingdom by itself is actually quite enjoyable. But I don't know. It just hurts me right here to play something that I know is a direct sequel to something without playing the thing that came right before, especially since I have it, you know. Like I said, it's a me problem. I'm a very conflicted individual. But I appreciate the encouragement. I'm sure that I will play it at some point though. Probably when the fire has died down and everyone has moved on. Kinda like the way that I started playing Elden Ring. Speaking of which, I should go back to Elden Ring at some point. Now that's a fun game. I'm strictly thinking time-wise. No, I see. That's a very practical way of putting it. Yeah, I remember that you liked the few Elden Ring streams that I did, and so I might throw it back in the modern game block that I have for at least a few sessions. See what that's good. Yeah, I also no, I mean I'll definitely put it back on. It's just not. Let's just say that it is in the plans. It is not soon. I want to say maybe like a month or so before I go back to it. I kind of have a very like weird schedule, and thank you everyone for actually putting up with it. But these days I want to do, so I have 3 main blocks, quote unquote, and so for one block I'll do retro games, for the other block I'll do modern games, and then for the last block, which I do on Thursdays, I want to do games where I can play with people. And so Elden Ring would probably fit most closely with modern games. And so currently for modern games I'm playing Hades, which I will be streaming tomorrow. Advertisement. But then I'm also thinking about playing, going back to Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, which is also something that I never finished. Maybe after that I should go back to Elden Ring, I don't know. Moon Jelly. No, indeed, the Moon Jelly. Ah, beautiful. And actually, I don't know the last time that you caught one of my Elden Ring streams, but I actually haven't gotten that far from where I last, from whatever it is I did last. Oh, what is this? Nice, it's a secret to everyone. Okay, I think we have enough to buy that meat and medicine. I also think that one of these bushes is actually have something of importance here. Voila. What is this? Oh, come on, man. Okay, and we've been here before. I also know that as soon as that Elden Ring DLC drops, it's gonna be the hotness again, so might try to align it with that fire, who knows. Of course, at the end of the day, I should just be playing it because I enjoy it. And like I said, regardless of how bad I am at it, it is a very enjoyable game. Alright, so let's go back, get that meat. I can probably just use the recorder here. Make it as quick as possible. At the very least, I want to start on Death Mountain. Ugh, and I hate this place. Why must you hurt me? Okay. Okay, so we're going to go up to the secret store, the one that actually held the blue ring, which, if I'm not mistaken, has the cheapest meat sale. Yeah, just 60 coins. And now let's get some medicine, and then we will be on our way to Spectacle Rock. As I like to say, as Al Bundy used to say, let's rock. Okay, and there we go, a full inventory. The last thing that we really need to upgrade is the ring and the arrows. So let's go ahead and travel to level 6, which I believe is the closest to Spectacle Rock. And speak of the devil. I've been wondered if the reason why these backgrounds were white on gray was because this area was like a snowfield or something like that. It is the mountains after all, so maybe there's some truth there. And of course, the question of the night still is, did you catch that Nintendo Direct? Like I was telling chat earlier, I didn't actually catch it, but I did hear all of the announcements from it. And very excited about Super Mario RPG. Ah, nice. For our troubles. I don't think these trees actually burn from what I recall. Really the only thing that you can burn down in the overworld map is bushes. Come on. My Twitch app keeps crashing. Sorry to hear that, in I go. That must be really annoying. Where am I exactly? I wish that the map actually showed you landmarks. And we avoided that by the skin of our teeth. And here we are in the corner of the world. What is this place? Alright, so is there like a trick here? I think something could be moved, potentially. Maybe I'm overthinking it. You know what, I've been using a map this entire time. I could probably just use it right now and it would be fine. Beautiful. Let's move on. And welcome first time chatter Zeldavania. Thank you very much for the tip. I'm supposed to be pushing up on something, I suppose. And how are you doing this evening? Thank you for finding this stream. No doubt you will be bored from my progress at some point. Goodness. Oh, hey, it's okay. You know what? Like I said, I could be following a straight up walkthrough here, but your guess is as good as mine. That's an Uber bot. Yeah, absolutely it is. But yeah, how are you doing, Zeldavania? Have you played the original Legend of Zelda? I would assume that you have, based on your suggestion. And sorry to be as aggressive with the questions there. Don't feel like you need to answer me. I gotta learn this thing where I have to stop coming off so strong to people. It's not nice. Alright, these centaur guys are so resilient. This is the first quest, not the second. Absolutely it is. Do you have the bracelet? Yeah, actually I do have the bracelet, so I think I should be good in terms of pushing things around. But for whatever reason that particular puzzle wasn't working, or maybe I was mistaken in that. I'm doing great. I appreciate the optimism. I'm doing okay. You know, every once in a while I have a one-on-one meeting with my boss. You know, it's not a perfect individual. I'm not gonna say that they're the most wonderful person in the world or anything like that. But they constantly say something along the lines of stop short selling yourself. And I'm just like, you don't understand. I'm actually not good, period. Wow, did I just completely miss Spectacle Rock? You know what? I'm just gonna resort to looking at the map over here. Enough wondering. End of wanderings, as they say. Let's see. Okay, so in order to get this Spectacle Rock... Okay, I kinda see where we need to go here. You're on the right track. Appreciate the kudos, Zeldavania. By the way, you have an incredible Twitch handle, by the way. But I'm sure you already knew that. And here we are with our spectacles. Okay, and clearly it just takes a bomb over here to finish up, but I did want to go check out this particular location right here because I believe this is another medicine selling location. Yes, it is. So in case we run out of medicine, we can simply pop out of the dungeon, and that should be enough to recover what we lost. Come on. Alright. Look at that. And so this is exactly the one dungeon that has a different theme music to it. Of course it is very ominous. It is very it's almost foreboding. And so let me pull up my map here. One of the things that I probably could have done in terms of finishing the first quest is do most of it without the map, because I do have vague memories of how things work here. One thing that I could never do is Death Rock without a proper map, and I'm probably going to get lost here several ways just because there's so many teleports here. And sorry, by teleports I mean stairs that lead to other locations. So yeah, this is probably going to be a few sessions. Probably, maybe. Call me maybe. Okay, and there probably should have been an old man that stopped me in case I didn't have the full Triforce. But of course I have the full Triforce. Of course it has to be a room full of witch robes. And it's not just that it's a room full of witch robes, it's also the fact that it's a room full of them with bubbles. That just takes away my power to fight. I can already tell that there's going to be multiple times that I have to go back out there to get more medicine. Okay, this is... The Elsen fails Twitch stream, folks. It doesn't fail to stay on brand. The only time that it is not true is when I have loggers. And probably the thing that I should have done first is actually light up the room. I noticed you were playing a few days ago and now you're finishing. I think this might be like the 4th session in total that I've been playing this game. So you know, the game by itself is not too challenging. At least the first half is not really that bad. I feel like the first 4 or 5 dungeons you can knock out pretty quickly if you know what you're doing. But it's when you start getting to some of these enemies that take a lot of hits, or you're in rooms with all of these bubbles, or especially if you encounter lots of dark nuts, they're kind of a nightmare. Okay. First pressure point. But certainly thank you for following along. If watching a streamer struggle with an old Nintendo game is your cup of tea, then you're in the right place. What is... Wow, okay. I actually don't know why he didn't take my shield. You know, I think in terms of Zelda adventures, after I finish this particular game, the next Zelda game that I will go to is the remake for Link's Awakening. I've never played the remake, but I played the original several times. It was probably the 2nd Zelda game that I beat after this, and it's kind of just like a nostalgia trip every time I play it. I really want to see what they did with the updated graphics and how it plays on the Switch. I actually have it, so a friend of mine gave it to me, but yeah, I haven't done that yet, so I'll probably put that on the stream schedule at some point. And it seems like there's nothing of value here. Actually, my mistake. There's actually a bomb location here. And a secret passage. And so these guys are pretty frail, but it's also the fact that they move very quickly. And honestly, for this one, I don't think that I don't feel like I need to complete the entire map of this particular dungeon just because it's so massive and there's so many teleports. But I do want to get the two main treasures. Actually, I want to get the map and the compass as well, but I don't feel like I need to explore every nook and cranny of this particular dungeon. Nook and cranny, that's something that people used to say when they talked about cereals, morning cereals. Now here's a real question. What is your favorite morning cereal? There's only one right answer. No, there's a lot of right answers, I just like to say that. My favorite is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Oh, come on. Let's see. Bro, not the Simpsons predicting the submarine situation. I remember that episode too. Was that one of the newer seasons? Because I can't seem to place it. But I feel like at this point the Simpsons have predicted way too much. Probably more than most fortune tellers. I don't even know where we are right now. Let's see. I think I can see this. I think you can probably go... Okay. I think if you go to the right, you can actually bomb. Captain Crunch or Frosted Flakes. I'll even go ahead and say Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles. I definitely enjoy the Fruity Pebbles. There's something about that particular texture that not necessarily just crunchy, but also just like tiny. Whenever something is just like small flakes, it definitely has a particular texture about it, which is very enjoyable. Captain Crunch I haven't had too much of. I've had like the generic brands, which is like a pillowy type of cereal. Frosted Flakes were kind of nice, but I never had too many of them because my parents thought that it was too sugary. Go figure. They were probably right. I think a lot of cereals are pretty sugary. Rice Krispies doesn't do their cereal good for a while now. I haven't had... I think I might have had Rice Krispies cereal once, and I wasn't impressed. But I like real Rice Krispies. Really good Rice Krispies are amazing. No, it's funny, I remember for a while, specifically when COVID time started. I say COVID times like it's like this legendary time, but when COVID time started, one of the things that... So my company started saving money on certain things, but they started spending more money on other things. And so they started spending money on like better snacks for the snack room, which wonderful and all. I specifically remember one of the things that they did is they had these really nice like thick bars of Rice Krispies that they would put out for employees to grab, and it's like whenever they would refill the snacks, those would like be snatched so quickly. We had like a chat between me and like some of my closer friends, and whenever the new snacks would come up, we would alert each other so that we would just go to the snack room and grab them. That was terrible. But it was delicious, and that's all that matters. Wow. These blasted bubbles. Hit. Okay, and it is done. Let's see, funny because back then I would be eating a bowl of cereal. Right now, I cut dairy milk out for a while. But I cut dairy milk out for a while. No, that's absolutely fair, and that's good. Do you drink like other non-dairy types of milk, like what is it, oat milk or like soy milk or things like that? Where am I? Oh, I thought I was gonna visit with an old man. What a weird thing. I thought I was gonna visit with an old man. What am I even saying anymore? Oat milk. So that's fun. It's funny that you mentioned that. That's actually my favorite non-dairy milk. I like soy milk fine. I really hate almond milk, but I really enjoy oat milk. I mean, it might just be because I like oats in general, like oatmeal. And of course, I also enjoy oatmeal stout. So there's that. There's that synchronicity. But I heard cereal is a cop-out for a meal, or even a snack. It's certainly not as fulfilling or nutritious as a full meal, of course. Where are we at on the clock? Okay. So it's already 2 o'clock in my time. It is what I like to say, my Cinderella time. Let me do a couple more rooms here, but I think we're gonna call it after this. Nice. And I would really like to get at least to one of the major treasures in this place. Let me see if I can force myself into one. Okay, and there's a key downstairs, but there's also... Okay. So this is where we were, of course, and we weren't able to reach the center. Let's see, Hades tomorrow will be good to watch you play. Well, I appreciate the enthusiasm. You know, I was looking back through my old streams, and if you're ever interested in looking at my archives, they're on YouTube, but I was looking at my playlist, and the game that I have been playing the longest is Hades. I've probably played it for about 40 sessions at this point. And it's like, I should have beat this game by now. Oh well. Everyone moves at their own pace, I guess. The Eyes of the Skull have secrets, and I'm assuming that's the Eyes of the Skull for this map. This map is actually in the shape of a skull. But you know what, it's alright because I love playing Hades. It is very similar to Elden Ring in the sense that I can die a million times and it's actually very fun. And I feel like the game, Hades itself, actually hasn't ran out of like dialogue options. Like every time I talk to one of the deities, one of the Olympian gods, they still have new things to tell me. It's very interesting that way. It doesn't seem like I can go in here. Very strange. Okay, I heard you, old man. Sorry, here I am trying to find a natural stopping point. And is there anything here? No, it doesn't seem like it. Though there might be a bombable wall right here. And this is the first time we encounter this enemy. I think it's called Patra. Whoa, come on, what is... And there we go. Jeez. Okay, let's try to burn him. Nice. So that's that room. And of course that's the room that we came from just now. Which forces us back to the place that we were. Yes, yes, I know. I know. In terms of over here, okay, I think we need to go down. Down to an earlier round. And I believe we came from above. I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna... Ah. Look at that. Great. It's one of these places. What are you even doing? Oh, come on. Nice. I don't know, one of these guys. Let's see if the wand actually does anything to it. I can actually hurt it without destroying their shields first. Oh, great. All that progress. Progress, quote unquote. Nice, nice. Go to the next room. Oh, sorry. I apologize, old man. So I think this is the top right, and I think we need to place a bomb on this side. Okay. And of course they have to be wizrobes. Nice. And of course it had to be a secret passage as opposed to one of the things that we're searching for. I don't even know where I am anymore. Let's see. You know what? Let's go ahead and wrap it up here. I feel like I could just keep going and it's gonna lead me to a ridiculous rabbit hole. So let's go back to intermission over here. Okay, well, that was the Else and Fails Twitch stream. The Retro Wrathscaler presents The Legend of Aleda. I have a good feeling that we will wrap up with the first quest next session, but you know what? I have been wrong in the past, and that's gonna continue to happen. But that's okay, because we've got each other. Hopefully you'll join me tomorrow, as I was just chatting right now with a friend of the stream, and I will be streaming Hades, which is a very fun game. I generally, or let's say at this point, I exclusively play with the Shield of Chaos. It is my weapon of choice. And I've reached Hades a couple of times, just never made it past them. In terms of The Legend of Zelda, though, I will be back on this particular game next week, Wednesday night. Look out for my Twitter for the most updated schedule. I also post it generally on my Twitch page if you're looking at that stuff. Yeah, and all that being said, thank you for your company this evening. Certainly appreciate the chatter from all of our streaming friends. Certainly happy to have you guys. Yeah, hopefully you have an awesome Thursday morning. But yeah, it's been good. All that being said, stay thirsty, Elpac. We'll see you again.